Hi everyone, my name is Jess and today's topic is 6 things that I have found have changed in sales over the last 5 years. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. You'll be reminded that every single Monday I do post new content and you'll help me get to my goal of 2,000 people by December. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and feel free to share this along with any of your friends or colleagues. I would be ever so grateful. Now let's dive into the content. Now I've been in sales for probably about 12 years now, and I know for some of you that watch me regularly, that is not as long as you, and for some of you newcomers, that is longer than a lot of you. A lot of you are starting out in sales for the first time or hoping to dip your feet into the sales industry, and I want to give you some guidance on really what has changed. You might have heard of sales and how sales has worked maybe 5-10 years ago. It has come a long way. It's very different now than even when I first started my career, and I want to share with you some of those changes. Now, number one would be the sales process, and I think it really varies between job, but the sales process has a lot more interactions now. Sometimes there would be only a few phone calls, maybe 1 or 2, and you would get the sale done. Now I find, we're reaching out to the customers. There could be at least 4 different interactions. It could be email, phone, video conference, in person, really building out the solution. Again, this is tech sales that I'm talking about, software sales. A lot of the time we are really connecting with the customer. Even if it's a tiny little connection, there are a lot more touch points than when it used to be maybe 10 to 12 or even 15 years ago. I even believe 5 years ago. There are a lot of opportunities to meet people over video conferencing now since COVID. And I believe that whole shift in the last 2 years to 3 years has really allowed the customer to invest a little bit more time in having the conversation, especially if they are not traveling. So that would be number one. Number 2 would be looking at existing customers and having them take priority over your net new customers and net new business. Now, that was very different 5 to 10 years ago. It was all about net new customers. But now, it doesn't matter what type of sales organization you are in, you're typically not selling one specific product. And that customer relationship and those touch points that I just talked about are so crucial. And when you build a relationship with this customer, there are many opportunities to help the customer with solutions within the existing solutions that your company offers. So I'm talking about upsell and cross-sell within that customer set. And I find, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, there's a lot more opportunity within that one customer to help them grow their business needs and you to sell more products into their company. Now, when I first started out in sales, it was highly transactional. I was in a very different role than I am now. But I find, especially if you've heard any bad things about salespeople, of having a quick sale and letting that customer go, building the relationship has become even more crucial today than it has ever before. Having someone that you can trust sell into your business, because there are so many other competitors, there's so many other products, which one are you going to pick? And there's not a way as a customer that you can know all the products that are available in the industry. So having that salesperson that can be that trusted advisor, that you trust them to bring, all the options in front of you, be agnostic to a certain extent, and let them know that, hey, here's the option, here's how it differs from the competitors, but giving the customer trust and doing the right thing. Sometimes selling the product is not the right thing for the customer, and being able to do that for a customer builds that trust. Where 10 years ago, I think there was less noise, less competitors, less softwares to compete and have the customer confused. Now is so crucial to have that trust with the customer. Now, another thing that I'm seeing is a big change. Companies used to send out mass communications. They used to just, hey, you get an email, doesn't matter what industry or who you are. I'm seeing a lot more personalization in email campaigns and targeted accounts and account plays. There's a lot more thought put into that, and I find one size never fits all, one customer never fits all. We're all doing things slightly different. We're all from different industries, and as a salesperson, companies are starting to recognize that we need to personalize. People want to deal with people, and that was true 10 years ago, but it is even more true now due to what I just said about that trusted advisor. Customers are constantly being told what to buy and ads thrown at them. We need to get personalized with them and understand their business before you reach out and attack them with, whatever sales campaign or play that you are working on. So important. And that brings me to number 5. I believe sales and marketing, not at all organizations, but a lot of organizations are getting better. Marketing is talking to sales about what is the product or service that you're offering? What are those customers? Marketing is finally understanding, or not finally understanding, that sounds bad, but they are understanding those customers and the services that they are offering. And I find marketing is digging even deeper to have that knowledge set as well, the same as sales. And they are, really at the forefront and constantly communicating with customers on behalf of sales to get them interested in the brand that you're trying to sell, right? So it is so important that these two organizations are so aligned and understand each other, and they both understand the value that each other brings is super important. And I'm seeing a lot more collaboration across many organizations. Now, the last one that some people will disagree with, but utilizing these sales tools is so important. Utilizing your company's CRM, having a database of information of customer calls, emails, the last touch point that you might have had with that customer or the conversation is so important. And I find sellers are finally leveraging CRMs to track their deals, to track next steps, to track campaigns, quotes, etc. It is really the hub of the organization, kind of the brain, if you will, of everything that you have done with that customer. So it can be packaged up, especially in the age of the great quit, or people are moving organizations and going from one tech company to another tech company. It is so important to pass along your territory in one piece, in one package, to say, this is what I completed, here's what I did, and let's pass the legacy of all the work that you've done over. And I'm seeing this happen. Not everyone has these skills to maintain the CRMs, but it's so important that we continue to do it. And I just think it's going to get better and better because people have moved organizations and they realize what they're walking into is not perfectly organized, and they want to do that for somebody else or do that in their new job. So those would be the 6 things that I'm seeing a lot of change happen, especially in the last 10 years, and very much so in the last 3 years with the pandemic to now. I'm wondering if you're in sales or you're curious about sales, what are some stigmas that you have about sales, good or bad? Feel free to comment below. I love reading your comments. I do respond to every single one, so feel free to tell me where you're from and how did you find this video. And if you like this type of video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next Monday. Take care.